What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and it's good to see you again. I've been on vacation for the past week, and I'm still kind of in vacation mode. I mean, I'm wearing shorts right now. I never really wear shorts. I usually wear jeans. You can actually see right here, I'm wearing shorts. I'm actually wearing white socks, too, because I'm just that cool. White socks, tennis shoes, and shorts. Anyway, time to get into some video fun. You saw the Droid 3 review. You saw the myTouch 4G slide review. We know what we do in PhoneDog land when two hot devices come out that are very, very similar. We do a dogfight, that's why. Let me show you. Droid 3, T-Mobile myTouch Slide 4G, two hot physical QWERTY devices, one on Verizon, one on T-Mobile, but both have awesome QWERTY keyboards and dual-core processors. Now, which one's the best? Is it the Droid 3 with that 1 GHz dual-core processor, 4-inch QHD display, and 8-megapixel camera, or is it the myTouch 4G Slide with a 1.2 GHz dual-core processor, HTC Sense, and an 8-megapixel camera that T-Mobile says is the best in the industry? Which one is it? We'll find out. But first, special thanks our buds at Best Buy Mobile. I love those guys. They always hook us up with a bunch of cool phones for use in our One Paw Bandit game, which you win those. So when you walk into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your web. I don't know why I'm doing this, but you get the idea. At Best Buy Mobile, you walk out working. Enough of that. Let's get into it. Dogfight time. And so to cover the myTouch 4G slide a bit, in the start of this part 2 video, you can see the volume rocker over here, micro USB charging port there, you have a physical camera button, your 3.5mm headphone jack, and your power button. But I want to dive a little bit into the operating systems, and not just Android 2.3, which comes pre-installed on both of these, but the overlays on both, since one's running obviously Motorola's applications platform, one is running a variant of HTC Sense 3.0. So there are some differences, and obviously if you want to see the full differences, you can go to the reviews of these respective devices on YouTube. But I want to talk a little bit just so you can see the differences. First of all, you'll see that the myTouch 4G slide preserves the original Android layout here, how the icons rather scroll up and down. Motorola's applications platform, formerly known as Blur, has moved over to this iOS type sliding, and we see this all the time on the Samsung devices running TouchWiz. The apps slide from side to side as opposed to up and down. So you can see a little bit of a difference there, and there's a transition effect when you slide from one pane to the other. You can see it transitions very similarly actually to how it transitions on Sense 3.0, where you can do the carousel effect, and I'll see if I can get it started fast enough so you can see the carousel effect on this. There we go. You can kind of see it. Harder to do on the ground, but you can see this one has that as well, kind of a carousel effect. And then when we go to home and click that twice, you can see 5 home screens on each one of these devices, and you can see how they're lined up. So they've kind of gone to this carousel type effect on both of these. Now let me show you just really quickly the widgets on both. And then I want to get into your questions, because in part 2, I'm trying this thing where I answer your questions, from Twitter. We have a couple of those up on the board right now. But let's see here. We'll go to widgets, and actually, let's do it this way. Widgets, and you can see over here HTC's personalization menu. This carries over to the espresso version of Sense 3.0 as well, though there are some differences. First of all, you'll notice that there's no HTC Sense HTC Hub customization here. So you can't go onto htcsense.com like you can on the Sensation 4G, the Inspire 4G, and some of the other Android devices that were running Sense 3.0. You are stuck with what's on the device. So you can change the theme, for example. You can change it from system to retro to jazz. You can change the colors there, but you can't get any additional ones through htcsense.com or HTC Hub. What you get on the device, say that 3 times fast, is what you're stuck with. So no options to expand there. But hey, that's not, for some people that may not be a big deal. Now over here, you don't get an option to change the color. I mean, Motorola's gone to this blue color in the latest version of the applications platform. And one thing I do like, I have to give them credit for, I'm big on these little nitpicky things, especially since a lot of the Android builds are so similar. And I can't show you right now since I don't have any notifications, but let's say I have 2 text messages, a missed call, and an update from Facebook, let's say. And I'll scroll down through here. Those would normally show up in your notifications bar over here. Well, on this one, you have to clear out either the entire notifications bar or leave everything in the notifications bar. You don't have the option to remove one at a time. You do over here, you would get red X marks, or red minus marks rather, and you can delete each individual notification. So if you have 6 different notifications, you want to check each one of those individually, you can go from there and you can delete one by one, or if one's not important to you and one is, that way it's a little bit easier to remember your notifications. Just a little thing I like, but you do get the quick settings option over here on Sense 3.0 where you can automatically click on Wi-Fi, you make sure the mobile network's turned on, you can turn on Wi-Fi hotspot, Bluetooth, GPS, and then HTC is bundled in a new task manager in the latest build of Sense 3.0 where I can go over here, I can kill the applications and refresh those safely and I can increase the amount of memory that's currently available. But back to what I was saying about personalization, excuse me, you do get some widget options on both of these devices. You'll see here, for example, on calendar, you'll see two options. Well, one is the HTC option, one is the Android option. So Android, pretty bland, boring widget, but we'll do the Motorola version and we'll do the HTC version. Now over here you can see, and we'll make that the calendar widget. So over here you can see that one pop up. And then over on HTC, a little bit of a different idea on both, but they really accomplish the same thing. You get three different calendar widget options. You get agenda, you get the small one, and then you get the monthly view. So let's just say we want to go with the small one. We'll select that, and yeah, that's all the calendars we want. It shows up right there. Now there's no option to customize the size of this. I can move it around on the screen, but I can't change the size. What I do like about Motorola's applications platform is you can scroll over, you can change the size, you can make it larger in most cases, you can make it smaller if you want to, you can make it really any size you want to within the parameters of the home screen. And I really like that. I like the fact that you can change the size because you get into some areas. Let me see if I can find one. I can't find one right now, but let's say you have this over here. You have a little bit of space here. You can customize the widget size to fit a lot in the home screen, whereas with HTC, if you're out of room, you're out of room. There's no option to add widgets that are any larger than the space available. So you do get that customization option over here, which I like. So now on to your questions. Actually, take that back. Before we do that, let's do browser on both of these. And we'll do a quick phone dog test. And then I'm going to do a quick question and answer, which I have those popped up in front of me. So we'll go to phone dog on both of these. Both are running Flash. And I'll show you some little differences here between the browsers. Because, like I said, they're running two different overlays, so there are some differences. So phone dog's loading up right now. You can see we can go to individual windows. And this is something that I like about Sense that Motorola's applications platform does not have. I've got to wait for phone dog to load up. There we go. So you can see over here it gives you a preview of the page. So whenever I want to go add a second tab, and then I have my windows open, I can scroll back and forth and it tells me where I left off, right up there at the top with the phone dog logo. Now over here it just shows text. It doesn't show anything too exciting. It's kind of more like the stock Android experience. Small thing, but for me I like the physical look there that you get as a preview. So you can see here pinch to zoom capabilities, since this one loaded up faster. Pinch to zoom capabilities are nice on this device, works pretty well. And then landscape mode, it's nice as well. Now there's a 3.7 inch display, so the real estate here is a little bit smaller than the 4 inch display on the Motorola DROID 3. Still, pinch to zoom capability is reasonably fast on this, and I'm not giving it full credit because it's not even fully loaded yet, and actually neither is that one. But to be halfway loaded, it's quite the impressive speed. Don't count that because that was a little slow, but you get the idea. Very, very fast on both counts, despite the fact that the page isn't fully loaded. So browser performance on both of these devices I think is quite good. So let's go into camera real quick. 8 megapixel camera on both of these. I'm going to do an unofficial test just so you can see. Let's go to camera. 8 megapixel camera on both of these. We're going to take a picture of my water bottle, for example. And we'll go over here to cancel. I don't want to geotag that picture. And this one does not have a physical camera button, as you can see. It just has the one on the screen. So we're going to get as close as we can to this. We're waiting for it to focus in. And we're going to take a picture of that. And then we're going to bring over the focus over here. Supposedly the best camera on a smartphone, we'll find out. And then we can go over here and take a look. I will tell you the best camera by far is the T-Mobile myTouch 4G Slide. It's a much, much faster camera. Not only is it faster, but the picture quality is just tremendously better, and they've really done some great improvements. And I'm just touching the surface here with the camera. If you go back over here, we'll go back into the main screen so you can see, you can do so many different things with the effects of the camera. We can choose a scene, for example. We can come back here, and we can do flash on and off, of course. And then I can reverse the camera to the front. But then I also have a bunch of different options in here. Resolution, I can geotag, blink detection, smile capture, grid, a lot of different options and a lot of different ways to really maximize your pictures over here. I used this actually all through Spain and all through Italy on vacation last week, the DROID 3, and took pictures. I just was not that impressed with the camera. It works okay in well-lit situations when you're outside during the day with no cloud cover. It works fine, but when you're indoors, it's not the best in the world. So we're running out of time actually in the video, so I want to quickly get into quadrant standard so we can do a quick speed test there, and then we'll do a speed test. And while these are running, I'm going to get to some of the questions that you asked on Twitter. So we're going to go to quadrant. Okay, run full benchmark on both of those. Now let me get to your questions on Twitter Scroll down through here, which is more reliable. Now, I used the Droid 3, like I said, overseas last week, and overall, I mean, the phone itself worked well. One thing I did notice, and this may help you make the decision, you know, I had the phone for a week prior, a couple days prior to traveling. I've had it for about 10 days now, and I've noticed that there are a bunch of scuffs that have appeared over in just, you know, just a few days of being in the pocket. I mean, I don't, you know, put my phone through anything hard, and you can see there, wait for it to focus, and you can see the scuffs down there at the bottom of the display. That's just from being in the pocket. So the Chrome, yeah, while it's nice, it does scratch up very, very easily. The myTouch, I've heard that issue with the myTouch series as well, but it seems to hold up a little bit better. Will there be a GSM version for both of these phones? There is a GSM version. You know, T-Mobile's GSM, so this is already GSM capable. The Droid 3, you know, if they follow in the footsteps like they did with the Milestone and the Droid 1 and the Droid 2, I imagine there will be a GSM version. Now, there is a SIM card slot in this, but obviously it's locked to Verizon as it stands right now. So let's see here. Go back down. Off topic, why does the myTouch get a different launcher dock than the Evo or the Sensation? The reason why the launcher dock looks a little bit different, I'm going to run that again. The launcher dock looks a little bit different in the myTouch 4G slide is because it's what's called an espresso build of Sense 3.0. It's optimized for the myTouch 4G line, or the myTouch line rather, and that's why. It's just something that's a little bit different for T-Mobile's myTouch line. Let's see here. Go down through here. Is the 4G on the slide better than the 3G on the Droid? So the network speeds, 4G, yes. T-Mobile's 4G is faster than Verizon's 3G. That said, the keyboard on the Droid 3 is far better than the myTouch 4G slide. So I don't really know if I think you're asking about network speeds there, but that's the answer to that. Build quality, sliding mechanisms. Droid 3, I think, has a slightly better build quality to me. It feels a little bit more sturdy in the hand, and it is a different feel than the myTouch, which is, you know, much more rounded, but I think the build quality overall is a little better. This one scratches up a little bit easier in my opinion, but it's definitely not wobbly. It definitely doesn't squeak, anything like that. Quadrant standard over on the Motorola Droid 3, 2,368 over here. And let's see if I can get this one to run. There we go, myTouch 4G slide, quadrant standard score 1,718 in comparison to 2,368 over here. Now take quadrant standard or any benchmark test, you know, for that matter, with a grain of salt. But let's do a speed test so you can see the network speed differences, and then we'll finish up since we're out of time on this video. Let's see here. Charlotte, I don't think that server works actually, so I'm going to change that server to Greensboro. We'll just do that one, little Greensboro, and we'll begin that test, and then we'll come over here, change the server to Greensboro, not Columbia, but Greensboro, and then we'll change that, and then we'll begin this test as well. Now both of these, you know, work pretty well. I find that Motorola is a little better in the call quality department, but data speeds have been better over on the myTouch 4G slide, obviously because it is an HSPA Plus device. Also, battery life, 1,520 milliamp hour battery over here, 1,540 out of the box on the Droid 3. So a little bit better, bigger battery rather on the Droid 3, but that may be negated by the fact that it has a bigger display. Battery life with the standard on this, with the standard on that, I find them to be about the same. With moderate use, you can make it through the day. So just to show you the difference, about 3 megabits per second over here, 0.6 megabits per second over here. So obviously T-Mobile's 4G is pretty speedy. That said, I've seen much faster speeds in this exact spot with the G2X and with some of the other HSPA Plus devices. So the data speeds are a little bit different on the myTouch 4G slide. That said, just comparing these, you know, apples to apples, the myTouch 4G slide wins in the data department. Now myTouch, or a Dogfight winner, myTouch winner, Dogfight winner has to be declared in this video, and I'm giving it to the Motorola Droid 3. It offers the best blend across the board. It offers a much better physical QWERTY keyboard, offers a bigger display. They've really improved with Motorola's applications platform. This newer version is a big improvement over the Motorola Blur that you remember, and you may love or you may hate, but it's definitely an improvement. It's a nice device. It's nice to see dual core, and even though it's not a 4G device on Verizon, it still holds its own and can be an awesome flagship phone. I mean, really look at it. Dual core processor, a bigger display, a better battery, Android 2.3 out of the box. Motorola's applications platform is improved. You have global connectivity, so business people can take it out of the country and use it overseas without having to worry about switching the device out on Verizon. So all in all, both of these are $199. All in all, I think this is the better bang in terms of functionality and features. That said, myTouch is great in the data department. It looks good, battery life's reasonable, and it's just an all-around nice device with a high-resolution display and a fantastic camera as well. So if entertainment's your thing, and you like to take a lot of pictures, the myTouch 4G slide is going to do it for you. But all in all, the best package goes to the Motorola DROID 3. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with both of these devices. Be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/PhoneDog. We're in the greatest tech giveaway ever. We're giving away like the way I said that. We're giving away Transformers, iPad 2s, Galaxy Tab 10.1s, and touchpads. So be sure to like us, facebook.com/PhoneDog. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Let me know what you think. You think one of the others should have won? Let me know. Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB and PhoneDog_Aaron. We'll see you next time. I'm out to get some more work done. Catch you later, guys.